Water parks are places for family fun and entertainment. At least that was the case before tragedy struck. Today, let's take a look. 10 of the craziest rides you'll never see again. Insane water slides. The first one is special. He was considered too dangerous. It closed just 1 month after opening. Stay tuned. The steam slide at Calypso Water Park in Canada. The steam slide at Calypso Water Park, considered one of the most dangerous water slides in the world. It's incredibly dangerous. In fact, as early as 2015, Ontario authorities are demanding Calypso Water Park pay $500,000 in fines and damages. Apparently, this type of ride causes serious neck and back injuries. First, they were never reported. Reports of injuries. The earliest traces can be traced back to 2011, although previous tourists have expressed their dissatisfaction by writing reviews. A tourist went astray on TripAdvisor. He and his husband were gliding when the rip current suddenly flipped over. He suffered a broken collarbone. My husband suffered a concussion. How will they be compensated for their injuries? They were given free water park passes. The passes expired 2 months after the incident. After investigation, due to a slide that buckled in a certain area, causing the tube to flip, it was banned shortly thereafter. A Costair water slide, Australia. There's probably no family rafting system. It allows the whole family to, all together, all gathered in the hospital emergency room. Yes, at the Peninsula Aquatic Recreation Center. Peninsula Aquatic Recreation Center. And earlier, Frank and Austria. The parents often met in the treatment room because their children were playing, injured on the water slide. The Ecosphere water slide is notorious because he caused multiple injuries. On one occasion, 2 adults hit their heads in the slide tunnel. Head injury. Management subsequently had to close the slide. 10 months, but just days after reopening. Another accident occurred. This time, a woman played the office sphere paddleboard, caused severe back pain. Another time, a boy fell from a pipe in the waterway. Before being ejected, he was struck inside the pipe. According to witnesses, the boy was unconscious for only 15 minutes. The worst part is, management appeared to know the slide was unsafe. When the water park opened in 2014, office terror. This project isn't open to the public. Apparently, an employee conducting pre-opening tests was also injured while using the device. Advancing the skills at Mountain Point Park in Ohio, USA. Ohio, USA. State Park claims to be the best amusement park in the world. These are their hopes. You won't remember what happened in 2013. July 2013. Tourists boarded a man-made whitewater rafting ride, but something terrible happened. The boat they were on suddenly rolled 187 feet. It hit the edge of a concrete trough. It collided with another boat. Then it capsized. The passengers were trapped upside down in the water, thanks to the prompt assistance of staff and nearby personnel. The tragedy was averted. After a thorough investigation, the cause of the accident was preventing the vessel from 2 safety devices on the slide failed, and to prevent the ship from 2 safety devices on the slide failed. The project was not officially closed until 2016. Most Mountain Point fans were not particularly saddened by his passing. Comments called it a terrible design. Most people said it was dangerous, a defective product. It's also a deadly highway to heaven. It looks like this water slide. The likelihood of reopening is almost. Asano Water Park, Orlando. Black Hole Paddleboard. Asano Water Park, Orlando is no longer open to the public. This means his most infamous water slide is also no longer open. Many of the park's problems all revolve around a ride called the Black Hole. Orlando Business Journal describes it as a twisting ride where people can shoot down a 2-person floating black tube. Floating black tube. In 1994, a man was seriously injured in a black hole. Severe injuries were sustained while paddling down the waterway. In 2000, he sued the amusement park for $1.73 million and ultimately won the case. The man claimed that he was in the black hole slide. He was struck by something. When he reached the bottom of the slide, he couldn't move his legs. The doctors had to implant the implant in his neck too late. That might actually be a black hole. The damage was too great. Of course, there were other accidents. The tubes sometimes flipped. People will fall. Tubes will be knocked over by other tubes. All of this happened in the water slide. This certainly makes him more vulnerable. Goodbye, Asano Water Park and Black Hole Water Slide. We won't miss you. Sixth place had previously reported injuries on the slide, but management didn't take any action. Improve the slide's safety. Due to the numerous lawsuits filed against them, management simply closed the slide. Overall, that's a good idea. Wildest, Kansas City Water Park. When someone is doing something that should be interesting, being injured or killed is horrific, but the horrific manner of this child's death, it's hard to imagine, let alone let it go. In other words, switch ban in Kansas City. Water Park, hoping to be famous for having the world's tallest water slide. So they built a 170-foot atrocity and named after Brett. It means crazy in German. For a while, everything went smoothly, until a boy named Giale, Schwab's 10-year-old boy, got on the roller coaster. Because the rubber valve flew out, his head struck the stopper, the derailed metal. He was beheaded. According to independent state prosecutors, they filed criminal charges against the water park, but they were later dismissed by a judge because he believed the evidence against the water park was inappropriate. Caleb's family is seeking $20 million in damages from the water park and the companies involved in its design. But the cost of losing a child is hard to fathom, especially in such a horrific way. Fortunately, after being permanently closed and demolished in 2018, a 2-year shadow hung over the park. It was one of the most horrific tragedies in water park history. Action Park, New Jersey. Open-door drop-in paddling lanes. Action Park, New Jersey. One of the world's most notorious water parks. After 6 deaths, the water park closed in 1996, and the number of injuries he caused is countless. It wasn't closed forever. The water park reopened in 2010. The new owners promised that safety would be their top priority. Clearly not. The most, one of the infamous rides. It was recently closed. It was called the Tannenball Drug Paddling Track. It featured a stone foot drop into a pool on the hill. This is the most dangerous water slide in New Jersey. 6 people were injured in 2015 alone. Despite this, compared to the previous injury count of 27 people, it's still a small number. In 2012, there were 70 injuries. According to NG, Kang reported a cannonball drop. The paddling trail closed permanently a few weeks before the end of 2015. Anyway, that's good news though. 3rd place, Action Park Bay Aqua School, New Jersey. The water slide is at this point, we should know how much Action Park has. How crazy. This water park, one of the reasons for its notoriety, it's this crazy water slide. Interestingly, it's not because it's the tallest or the fastest, it's just because of the stupid design. Action Park once had a smart idea. Use rollers from the warehouse to make a pulley, because the fast current can't cut them off. Tourists slide on plastic sleds. The idea is to speed things up, then skip under the water, like a flat stone. The problem is, if you don't sit on the sled at the right angle, you might get thrown out. Besides, the pool is too shallow. It's only 2 silver feet deep, according to some reports. You won't even enjoy the soft, comfortable feeling of landing. Assuming you can slide into the water, look at some unlucky people. On the way down, falling off the sled, this can lead to horrific injuries. Of course, head injuries can also occur in swimming pools. Add to that the reckless action parks. They won't wait until one person leaves the pool before letting the next person down. So collisions are common. New Jersey, please improve safety. Now is the time. Our 2 best shots of the day have been revealed. This might be the tallest water slide ever. It's also terrifying. 2nd place, Brazil's Insano water slide. The pictures you're seeing right now look too good to be true. Or too terrible to be true. It can't be true. Can you imagine yourself about to be launched from a water slide high above a skyscraper in the distance? Slide down? I personally can't do it. I'm afraid of heights, so I don't want to. So I think it's safe to say, this is from some digital artists, another work with a twisted imagination, but it does remind me of a banned water slide. It's aptly named Insano Water Slide. It's a giant water park in Brazil, one of the crown jewels of Beach Park. It's the world's tallest freestanding slide. Dare to be takers free fall from the top. This means in seconds, your body doesn't even touch the slide. Descent speeds reach up to 65 miles per hour. Built in 1989, 135-foot tall water slide. It held the Guinness record for the world's tallest water slide. Until 1999, he was hit by a 193-foot tall standing stool. Roshan and Rio were defeated by the General. Despite this, the Insano water slide lives up to its name. It's the tallest freestanding celestial slide, certainly one of the most radical straights on Earth. Cannonball Loop, New Jersey Action Park. Why you again? Action Park. Okay, now to finish it. Action Park Trilogy. Crazy water slides. We're going to introduce you to one of the greatest water slides. This water slide is notorious for its dangers. Riders must use the water to surge to increase their chances of reaching the end. This slide is terrifying. Even the most daring daredevils, I wouldn't even try this slide. This slide caused a lot of injuries. It closed after just 1 month. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Cannonball Loop. The water slide is long and black. One last one. This looping structure looks incredible. One has to wonder, did he apply physical laws unknown to us on Earth? It opened in the summer of 1985. But it only lasted about a month. The New Jersey Carnival Ride Safety Commission. The committee is closed. That's a mouthful to read. That's because all those other crazy rides, they pale in comparison to this. The pilots at the water park were all, try to get through this waterway. This way they'll get $100, but they might be seriously injured. But based on the terrifying design and defense system, they can only test it on dummies. The result is, everything about their bodies is gone.